everyone. Hello and welcome to this umpteenth installment of Truth Noir. Thanks for sticking with us. As always, I am Norm. Welcome. We're doing another kind of one-off episode. We're taking a little break from the normal doom and gloom of our government atrocities that are going on everywhere in the world, and we're talking about some positive stuff. And when we do that, we're always joined by none other than Mr. Josoph over here with Operation Street Kidz. He, among many other things, runs a mentorship program for area youth, and we're joined by one of those today. We're joined by Oscar Wessel.
Oscar Wessel, nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming on, man, and
thank you for having me.
Talking to us about the stuff that you guys are doing in the community.
Correct.
So I don't know, man. Let's jump right into it. What do you do? How did you come to meet Josoph? And what are your plans for world domination?
Well, I met Josoph on the bus. I was on my way to school, and Josoph was on the bus headed to his destination, filming I believe his documentary, or he was just an old man sitting on the bus with a camera. And at the time, I wasn't into filmmaking. I just knew I liked cameras, so I started listening. This crazy old guy, from the East Lows, and then I really started listening, and I asked the questions like, "Oh, could you come speak to us in our school?" And then that was it. We didn't see each other for maybe a year. And then we were on our way. He called me up. He was like, "You want to be on a short film?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? Let's try it out." And we were on our way to Arizona, middle of the desert.
Nice.
On my first film production.
How long ago was that?
This was about 2 years. 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's where I became, quote unquote, and fell in love with filmmaking, and now I'm going to school for film.
Right on.
Yeah. The key here is based on show and tell. That is basically the substance of Operation Street Kidz. We are a philanthropy kids club. Philanthropy meaning that everybody can give something to this world.
Sure.
And so therefore I found that giving young people the opportunity, so that's why they call me OG, which is opportunity giver. And so, and that's what we do. What's interesting is that my car it broke down, okay, and I had to take a bus to a gig, and a filmmaker had been following me to do a documentary on my life. She found it interesting, just doing what I gotta do. And so I said, "Hey, well, we can't do this gig today because I gotta take the bus. I got no wheels to meet you." She goes, "Oh, fantastic! I'll follow you in the bus,
Yeah.
And so she got on the bus with the cameras, and I saw Oscar there, to mess around with this, as everybody, texting and all that,
right.
Sitting down in the corner there, and. I began she's asking my questions. I'm talking, just talking. And finally, we connected. He started listening. But I really believe that when you show and tell a young person that perhaps may not understand what he or she is destined to do in life, by seeing and telling, it's amazing how they're able to say, "This is what I want to do. This is what I would love to do." And that's what sparked in Oscar's life. Now, interesting enough, Oscar, why don't you just go ahead and tell them basically that, first of all, I asked them, "Well, why ain't you in school, man?"
Yeah, are
you truant?
It was like 10 p.m. It was like 10 a.m. I was like 3 hours late to school, so.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't taking school seriously.
Why?
I was going through some stuff. Lost my best friend.
Oscar literally had his best friend killed in front of him.
Oh, wow.
You know, he
Yeah.
lived in South Central.
I grew up in South Central, grew up in the streets. I didn't know where I was going. So it was just, I didn't know where I was going until
School not a priority at the
it
time.
wasn't. Yeah, it was me dealing through the grief of losing my brother. You know, he was my best friend, but he wasn't blood, but he was my brother.
How old were you?
I was 16. Literally died on my arms, but
On his way home.
that's you know, the point is that he gave me an opportunity. Like he said, it was destiny that we met on that bus. 'Cause if we wouldn't have met, God knows where I would be at today. So
Car broke down for a reason.
yeah, and I think and I was late to school for a reason, or something happened the days before that I was late, and I was on that bus, but I didn't know I wanted to be a filmmaker. I just knew I liked a camera, but I didn't know what the camera could do. And then he introduced me to it, and again, literally fell in love with it.
We have the 4 dynamics that we teach: reading, writing, communication, which has a linkage to negotiation, closing the deal. And then if you appreciate money, then you appreciate math. So in those 4 dynamics, it's life. It's life in the, that's why they call it a show business. You know, it's business. And I met so many celebrities and people that I work with and still work with that today have nothing. You will look at them and recognize them and know, well, but have nothing. And because they never learned how to read the contracts properly, they never learned how to educate themselves to what the business was all about, you know, through reading. And they never really learned how to manage their finance. You know, and communicate. You know, many of them got fired or lost contracts because they never knew how to communicate. And so with Oscar, that was one of the things that, you know, Operation Street Kids, you know, stands on. And I was, Oscar, you go back to school, you finish school, I want you to graduate, I want you to bring those grades up to par, and we're going to get busy. And what we'll do is connect you. So Santa Monica College, the film production is ran by a very good friend of mine, Salvador Carrasco, and he basically is a professor who brings in young people from all over the world.
Very diverse.
And they come and many of them can't even speak English, some, you know, but they come to this here because this is Hollywood, you know, is a mega of entertainment, you know.
Sure.
And so therefore there's jobs there. There's a whole lot of things to do, you know. And basically, it was very important for me to introduce Carrasco to Oscar so that Oscar can see. And when Oscar saw the cameras, you know, the big red and the dollies, and begin to see the lights and see the real deal, not something that they're just playing with it like, you know, in high school, you know, but the real deal, the production, you know, it just lit a light bulb went out in him, you know, and he's become like one of the greatest students for Carrasco, and so basically he began to now rub shoulders with professional people, other cultures, and he's on his way. And we're very proud of him.
Thank you. And it's funny you say that, because like when I was introduced to my first movie set, I was still, you know, when he called me up, you know, I was still kind of in the streets, you know. I wasn't like a gangbanger, but again, I was in the streets,
Sure.
you know, hanging around the wrong people. And after I went onto that set and I came home, the summer after, that's where I decided I need to leave the city I'm in now, it's South Central, and move to East LA, where I'm at now, and go to a brand new school where I don't know no one.
Right.
And
yeah, new starts are sometimes best.
And just start again rebuilding, getting my grades up, catching up, and I graduated on time when I was supposed to graduate.
Excellent.
And just within that time set, I finished my Torres High School, a year and a half. He was putting me on multiple movie sets. So by the time I got to college last year, my first year, I was already focused and with the right mentality, with, straight, just, okay, it's not, those days are over. It's time to focus on my dream.
Mentorship works.
Yeah.
Mentorship works. It definitely works. We could bring programs and program after program after program after program, millions of dollars, okay? But it's not a program, it's mentoring. When you can grab a hold of a young man or a young woman and look into their eyes and really believe in them and let them know that you do believe in them, that they are engineered for greatness, that they're endowed with the seeds of phenomenal greatness. And those seeds need to be cultivated so it can grow within him. So therefore, when that seed bursts, he can now plant that seed on another young person and embrace them, As I said before, we have the greatest, our gift, we don't have a youth problem, we have an adult problem. We just saw that with the elections, all the madness and all that stuff, And here are young people, they're the future. They're the ones that have the ingenuity. They have the creative juices inside them. We got to listen to them, I recall this little boy was going to school and he heard this big boom and then he leaned over, and as he leaned over, he saw all these different rescue squads come in, and a big rig tractor, the trailer, it ran into a bridge and it got stuck.
Oh wow!
And so he goes back to school, and then school's over after 6 hours, and the little boy's running back. He's about 9 years old, and he's looking at now. You got all these experts. Talking about, because they don't want the bridge to collapse, right? And the little boys out there yelling at them, "Hey, Mister," and they're like just shining him on, not listening to them, right? Finally, the other guy says, "Well, shut that kid up, man. Just tell him what he wants." And he says, "Just let the air out of the wheels."
Yeah, right.
It's all about listening to us, the youth. I say us as a youth. Because when you tell as a adult, you've been through stuff and you've been through the process. Like say as a filmmaker, you've been through it. And if you tell them, or if you tell us, you could do it. I believe in you. Daily or every other day or each time you guys communicate, it motivates them.
Sure.
I feel like that's what adults need to start doing, or everyone just needs to start doing, because to one another it's just, you're great. Because when me and Jojo talk, "Hey champion, how you doing?" Or just something positive, and I could be feeling worse, and it's been times where I've had a super bad day and he didn't know, and he'll call me up, "Hey champion, how you doing? We have this and that." And it just lightened up my whole day. So I feel like we need to start. As adults, need to start motivating the teenagers as the young kids, because they look up to us, not to adults just yet. You look up to their big brother or their big cousin, and just positive vibes.
It's basically respecting. Respect is a two-way street. You see, and when the youth can start respecting the older people, and the older people can begin to respect the younger people, and enhance and feel their greatness, and what happens is, I choose to believe that we're endowed with seeds of greatness, and I choose to believe that greatness is doing something beautiful for someone less fortunate than you. That's what philanthropy is. That's what greatness. I believe that inside us is a seed of greatness, but we must learn how to release it. release greatness. Oh, that's a great job you did. Do you remember, Norm, when you were a little child? You know, maybe perhaps you hit a home run or something, but you did something where your parents said that was great. What type of feeling did you get there?
Well, yeah, it makes you want to do that again.
Absolutely, and more. Absolutely, and more. You're absolutely right. And so that is the bolt. The dynamic of Operation Street Kids. We love kids. You know, I mean, I've given my life for them. You know, and I got my grandkids that I love with everything. You know, and my 2 boys. You know, and I feel that if I could reach out to others, then others will reach out to them. You see, because I can't walk on water and never will be able to. You know, I'm sorry, you're saying something.
Well, yeah, no, I was going to say it's all infectious. Whatever it is that you put out there affects how many other people, and then that affects how many people. So you might as well do positive stuff. You know, it's like this. People say, well, you know, I'm not a leader. I'm not. Well, yes, you are. Either you're going to lead them to the pits, or you're going to lead them to greatness. Let's get on with it. You know what I mean? Or you're going to lead yourself one way
and you're going to go down with them. You know.
Yeah.
So now, you know, let us see what we're doing now. So now we have numerous of young people, as you probably see here.
Yeah, sure. I know you guys prepared a slideshow for us today. So
and I'll just elaborate with you.
This is our very own. Is that's Oscar?
That's right? Oscar there, right? And
manning the camera.
Yeah. And as you can see there, that's not a little shabby camera. That's the real deal.
Yep.
Red.
It's a big red.
And so now, where are we? Where you're filming?
We were shooting a sci-fi, you know, movie, short film, just out of hospital, you know, with a small like skeleton crew.
Okay.
You know, just practicing, and you know, students just creating their ideas.
It's role playing and everything. It's drills. They're doing drills.
Exactly.
Everything's a drill.
Making mistakes.
The camera, making the mistakes.
Making mistakes, learning from the mistakes.
Sure.
Adjusting to your mistakes. I feel like you shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and eventually you learn how to make mistakes and then make them look like they weren't mistakes.
It's called cheating.
Well,
in film,
it's called finesse.
Finesse.
So, all right. Now, are all of these pictures from the same facility?
No, this is literally the one of where we do our drills with the Professor Carrasco. And what's happening here? That's at the.
This is at Santa Monica College.
Yeah, Santa Monica College has basically a department where the students come in and they literally do all the actual work. You've been hanging out there.
Yeah, our professor chooses a script, an original script, and then we go ahead and we fund it. You know, we fundraise for it. We go throughout a whole, you know, pre-production. You know, fundraise for it, and just location scouting, permits, casting, everything. Mm-hmm. And before we actually shoot on location, and before we actually shoot for real, we do drills.
Sure.
So that's what, you know, that's on a drill. I was on the Panther Dolly, just, you know, setting up a shot or stuff like that. We practice before we go to the real set. And our Professor Carrasco, he takes us through steps.
That's such an important part of it. I mean, because the stuff we do here, it's good to know how to do that and plan in advance so that you're not wasting time, and eventually it gets into wasting money and resources if you haven't planned it.
Exactly.
Haste is waste.
Absolutely.
Now, this is James and Chris, and these are 2 young men that we started mentoring, and now they're at the college, and now they're filmmakers.
We're all
now.
in the same class.
And they're from these are LA positive stories, street stories.
Yeah.
That's what we got here. Right? And
And so, and this is all at Santa Monica College?
That's
Santa
right.
Monica
That's
College,
right.
correct.
That's
We
right.
build the whole set. We do go through the drills. We actually, like we're in right now.
it's a studio.
It's a
They
studio,
develop.
yeah,
They turn it
exactly.
into. They got a big old hangar airport.
It's an airport hangars.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
they just
You know,
they got it.
We
they-
divide
they-
it in half.
and they
you know,
make it happen.
two crews at the same time.
Cool.
It's incredible. I mean, like today, I told Professor Carrasco, I said, we ought to be filming this right here, and it was them breaking down, picking up papers, moving the chair, putting everything back the way they when they got there. This is how the whole hangar was. They just divided it, and they had chairs here. And every one of them, before they left on the strike, they cleaned the whole thing up, man. And and those are working skills.
Because it's also we share it with the
Teamwork.
classroom.
Right.
We share with our classroom, so we leave.
Let's see
stuff.
what else we got in
Yeah.
there.
Sure.
Again, on the set,
I mean, what amazes me is that these young people, when they go there, and Norm, when they see the cameras, they're like blown away, man. Because you could tell that it's a legit camera that they're using
Right,
in Hollywood,
yeah.
and so they learn to imagine a bit of the Marine Corps with their weapon. Your weapon is your baby, man, and
Sure.
you take care of that puppy, Though I didn't learn that lesson when I got to Vietnam, I lost it. But that's another story. All right.
We have.
That's their weapon. They're shooting to heal. Shoot to heal.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
just
Shoot to heal.
the media. We're shooting media for Chicano Film Festival.
This was the festival, the Chicano Film Festival, here in Plaza de la Raza, and he was
Okay.
shooting for them there. Yeah.
Very cool.
So it opens doors for jobs for them. See, it opens doors as they begin to meet people. They network, and it's instead of just sitting down on the couch and looking at something or just flipping. They're active. They're involved. They're meeting people. People are meeting them. And we're all doing something productive, learning. Yeah.
Learning.
Yeah, well, and when you are able to produce a reel for yourself, because I mean it's obvious when you show someone something that's shot on good gear like that, and they'll be like, oh, this guy, obviously knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
He has access to this stuff.
Absolutely.
And it means the world to them knowing that you know how to work the stuff.
That's right.
That they have that they're going to need to have you use.
That's exactly what we tell them, man. Is that all this stuff? I tell him take photographs of everything.
Yeah. He also always has someone shadowing me, or around, other way around. I'm sorry. I'm always shadowing someone. So I don't just get thrown into something. It's
Right.
like
They develop.
there's
There's a gentleman called Vishal, he's a filmmaker, tremendous, from India, a good friend of ours. He loves the kids, and he's always looking at ways to open the doors for them. If we're not, we'll have him here,
Yeah, I remember meeting him.
Yes,
at
yes.
And to go back a little bit, you said you met Josoph on the bus. We met Josoph at Alan B's.
Eat a burrito.
Yeah. Same story. I was like, who's this guy talking to us? And then but it seems to be your MO.
That's right.
Meeting people under odd circumstances.
destiny again. It's the right place at the right
Well,
time.
Absolutely.
Well, OG is OG, so it's an OG experience, right? So I mean, yeah, incredible. Yeah, I think we got another one there or something.
Yeah, let's see. Back
Let's
to
see
the
another
beginning.
one.
Let me ask our guys in the back if we got the other picture that was sent. Adam?
Let's see.
Or Nolan? Is there someone listening back there?
Yeah, it's incredible, let's go back to your show. Let's go back to the dome box. I mean, I walked in here and I said, my God, this is incredible what you guys are doing, And then, to find out that we spoke the same language about giving back to the community, and giving the community the opportunity to come. Now there's senators and councilmen and women that, I've been talking to them about it. They're eager, well, after the holidays, we got to go see it, because, they want to get involved, and it's a thing where this collaboration would not have happened if, you would not have. You could have just chased me away and took another big bite of your burrito, and
right.
This crazy, like he said, this crazy little old man, right? It's crazy, and I'm not the wild groom, finesse, 3-piece,
Well, you do better than most, Joseph.
But I just want to throw a shout out to you guys, man, that we deeply, deeply appreciate this. Very
Well,
much so.
we appreciate meeting you as well, and it's just from the beginning been nothing but positive, and so I'm glad it worked out.
In the midst of that, when you look at Hollywood, you look at fashion, you look at just a wealth of opportunities. So now, as you see him here, now he's designing his own clothing. Tell us a bit about your clothing.
My clothing line is I want to incorporate it with film because I'm gonna be a filmmaker, but also a designer. I think of myself as a creative.
Sure.
I started my own clothing line because I want to start being myself. That's my main philosophy for my clothing line is start being yourself. Start wearing what you want to wear and not what the internet wants you to wear or what society wants you to wear.
Don't become a label.
Or it feels good to have the fashion trends, but sometimes we do it, and I'm speaking for my youth and for my millennials. Sometimes we do it because I think we want to show off and want to feel cool. So I started designing clothes that I like to wear for myself.
Sure.
Not to impress anyone. So to feel comfortable in also. So my main, because I'm barely starting it, and it's be yourself. Be who you want to be. If you like wearing a certain shirt and it's not fashion trendy,
Wear it.
You shouldn't be
Wear
laughed
it
at.
because you want to wear it.
That's right.
Yeah, you shouldn't be laughed at. Oh, well, you don't have.
I like what you said about what feels good to wear too, or comfortable to wear.
exactly.
Because sometimes you get these runway, fashion clothing that you see, and you're just like, that cannot be fun to wear.
Right.
Like
What I find that's dynamic with Oscar is that, and of course many of the other our young people that are out there, and shout out to all you guys, love you guys, and is that if he's going to be making film, he therefore can be able to put his product on the film so that it could be shown to others.
That's going to be one of my promotions.
Which is
for
Yeah,
the clothing
absolutely.
line is
it promotes itself through his film,
through my
which is sharp,
film.
Yeah, wardrobe provided
Yeah.
by.
That's
By
right.
Vision.
Exactly.
My company is called Visionary, and then there's Visionary Films, Visionary Apparel, and then Visionary Design. I just recently fell in love with production design on a movie set, and now I want to be a production designer also. So we're Visionary overall is a design company.
Right.
We design clothing. We design, movie sets. Designing a script. You could say that.
Right. Yeah, you're designing a story.
Designing a story out of
the music we do.
Sure.
It's a design company, and the main thing is be yourself. Be who you want to be,
You know, the
you know.
the also the total beauty of it, you know, is that, you know, we're moving on a different flow now, you know. As Bob Dylan said, the times they are changing.
For sure.
You know,
Seems they're doing that more quickly these days as well.
you know, and it's something that, you know, it's time to just be nice, and you can be nice by being nice to yourself, you know, and appreciate yourself, you know.
Well, I think some would argue that it has to start there.
It has to, absolutely.
Because if you can't do that, you're not very well prepared
Yeah.
to be nice. to
Self-motivation,
Yeah.
higher self-esteem.
Sure.
You know, I've always dealt with low self-esteem and not believing in myself and kind of contradicting myself. I kind of still deal with that.
I still have to kick him in the...
You know, but I have started liking myself. Now that's how I started designing.
Yeah.
It's like I finally came to the conclusion where, okay, I want to be myself now. Because I'm hiring my self-esteem and hiring the self-love is that, okay, I don't need to impress these people anymore. I want to impress myself now.
And you,
Again, designing clothes.
And the issue too is that we're talking to a young man, with all due respect, 'cause I love him, okay, but a young man that, you know, does not have a father image in his life. You know, I know the feeling, you know what I mean, and you know, poverty sucks. And when you have nothing to eat, and you have to live with other people, and move around, and not being able to, you know, have the things, you know, like even now, like Thanksgiving, you know, it devastates a child, you know, it tampers with their self-esteem, you know, it wounds them, you know, and so therefore, you know, to be able to let them know that, you know, listen, you're full of greatness. There ain't nothing wrong with you. I tell kids in juvenile hall when I go in there, I say, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, you're wonderful. You're beautiful. You know, and once you begin to, then they begin to create. And when they begin to create, they begin to build their self-esteem. I did that. Like you said, you want to do it again. Mm-hmm. That was great.
Yeah,
I want to do it again.
Absolutely.
It feeds to that. It funnels that. You know, seeds of greatness is phenomenal. You know, I put it this way. You know, your dream has to be bigger than any Mickey Mouse excuse. There's no excuse why you cannot make it. There's no excuse why you can't accomplish. You were born a champion. And if you're born a champion, you can champion life. And if you champion life, you can champion a company, you can champion, you know, whatever you put your hand to do, and you really work on it, the champion within you will make it come true. You know,
Yeah,
just like I'm sorry, just like this right here.
Here we go.
Okay?
Got it up now.
It's just like, you know, this is a location where one of the most very tough neighborhoods. I'm not going to mention the neighborhood, but there was a major gang. There was a bust in that particular housing project, and I was asked to go in there and work with the children of the gang members and the guys that lived there. And so they arrested many of the fathers and uncles and all that, and they got rid of them, you know, deported them, and they put them in jail. And these kids are living there. And so we began going in there and began nurturing them, you know. And this young kid here with OSK, that young kid, you know, is a kid that, you know, I mean, we learned to love him, and now he's probably about 18, and he sees me and he comes, he hugs me, he communicates with me. You know, you can see the change in him. You know, now over here you have two of the. We shot a film which is called Hurt, which would like to bring the guy here. It's conquering the elements of bullying, and okay. It's gotten a lot of awards already. You know, awesome. We're shooting it right there. See those two young people? Well, that young girl in the back is only 11 years old. and she's shadowing that crew right there. Okay, and here we have these girls that are doing fashion, so they're modeling, and we're teaching them how to walk, how to posture, what have you. Over to my right, you have an art show. We did an art show with President Obama's personal artist. He's a very renowned artist. He came and he asked me if I could take him to the inner cities, and he wanted to do a free art show, and we did that. We put a video together, and probably sometime we can show it, what have you. But I mean,
Absolutely.
so we pull, you know, up here as a kid, we did a, you know, they're learning how to do a music video, which they did, you know, it's done very well too, you know. And so, you know, and there I am right there, just let everybody know that, you know, get your crown on because you are a king's kid, you know.
I like
and that's
that.
basically it.
Adding to what he's saying, you know, we go into the inner cities. I feel like the creative geniuses are in the inner cities. The kids that don't have a voice. 'Cause, you know, and no disrespect to the middle class and higher class, because they're creatives too, but I feel like we're told that we can't do anything, and we're told that we're the lowest of the low, and that inspires us.
Sure.
It sparks ideas, and it sparks creative thoughts. So
Absolutely.
in the inner cities, the kids like me and like the kids that we, you know, Operation Street Kids work with, they're all creative geniuses, and JoJo comes in and sparks it. Yeah.
This is why, you know, as I shared, you know, a philanthropist and Operation Street Kids, you know, we engage kids that have deep pockets, parents that have deep pockets, and we merge them with kids that have no pockets. Their parents have no pockets. But when they learn, then they begin to compel the need. They see the need, show and tell, show and tell. Well, why is he walking that way? Well, because he has holes in his shoes.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. You don't understand until, and like I think you're hinting at, it goes both ways.
Absolutely.
That you know, you don't
Pain is pain.
understand where someone else is coming from until you see why it
That's
is
right.
that they do what they do, or you know.
You know, right now there's an epidemic on heroin, you know, with the upper class. Major. I'm getting a lot of calls right now. I'm working with a father right now. I may bring him down here. His kid killed himself.
Oh wow.
You know, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that are happening out there, you know, and people are just turning their cheek, you know, they're just turning from it, you know. I'm the one that gets them to say, here, look here, you see, and I'm dedicated to do that. I'll go down to my grave doing that, you know. I'm an uplifter. Whenever I look down on somebody, it's to stick my hand and pick them up and make them bigger than me, you know. I received a letter just yesterday of a mother. You know, she's doing life in prison, and she's just finished doing her 13th year, and she's trying to commit suicide. You know, I sat down, and Julie and I wrote her a letter. I want to write to her, and I wrote to her, you know, and it sparked something in her, and she wrote back to me, and I'm going to begin to build her through letter writing. I'm going to begin to build her so that she can begin to give her story to others, because she basically was not really guilty of that particular crime. The situation was, you know, I mean, I've had these all the time, man. You want to be cool, what have you, and you start hanging around with a boyfriend, someone that wants to be, you know, a thug, you know, or want to be a thug, or really a thug, and you just go out, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, you with these type of drugs that are out there now, you know, you take those drugs, go in there, and you rob a store, or you rob a house, you know.
Or you happen to be standing outside while the person
Exactly, and then that person gets hurt, and you're blamed for it.
Right.
Your life is gone, man. Your life is gone, you know. So you know, and my heart went out to her daughter, you know, because I met the grandma and the daughter, you know, who's like 18 now, you know, and You know, the daughters. Well, in the letter she says, you know, I'm the one that became a monster. I'm the one that, but my daughter became better than me. You know, and the first thing I'm going to do is write back to her and just tell her, man, it should be that way. Your daughter, your children should do better than you. You should lift them up higher. I mean, if you don't, you missed the boat.
Yeah. So it turns out you were a success without realizing it.
That's right. That's right. I think
Yeah.
I'm talking too much here. Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I'm talking too much?
No. No, with everything else you've been saying.
You know, I'm joking with you now.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's always a pleasure having you guys on. We our face clock is not working, so that's why I'm referring to my phone every once in a while. We got about 5 minutes left, so any closing words, Oscar?
Let's tell them about the project we're working on right now.
Right now we're working on a short film for, again, Santa Monica College, film 33. It's a short film called With a Single Leg. It's about a wrestling
True
champion,
story.
you know, that has cancer, but he's a warrior. He's a fighter.
I think I saw something that you posted about
Right,
this.
right.
The Indiegogo. It's a very well written story, and again, it's based on a true story. The director, Gabriel Dos Santos, that was his friend, and
Oh, okay.
he passed away.
The beauty of it is that as a way I gathered the story is that this young man grew up in East LA without a single parent, without a pops, and has an uncle, okay, that is in the gang scene, and he admires his uncle, and the uncle is kind of like, you know, toying with him, you know, and being tough and what have you by getting into the gang. But this young man happens to take on wrestling. He went into sports, and he became the top puppy man in the campus. And so there were scouts coming to find him, and as the scouts were coming to find him, they were offering him scholarships.
And then they found out he was going under chemotherapy.
Apparently, apparently, he gets all these awards, and I believe that he was he either collapsed or something in that particular line. Well, and then he went to the hospital, and then they found out that he was full of cancer. And what happened was, whenever life and you know, people can be very mean, you know, when now that he has cancer, you know, it's like a football player playing for about 5 years and his legs are going out. He's gone. He's a piece of furniture.
Right, yeah.
You know, and that's the moral of this story, that, you know, life goes on in spite of what comes your way.
Keep on pushing, keep on fighting until...
Yeah, I think it was Henry Ford that said, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't,
You're right.
Either way, you're right.
You're right.
So why not believe that you can?
You always believe that you can, and just don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know,
Just don't make it a habit.
Yeah, exactly.
Same mistake.
Yeah, it's just taking the chance and just doing it instead of just having it on a piece of paper and brainstorming it.
Right.
I want to close by saying, you are a champion. You are a great one. You are in position of receiving great things in your personal life. Never, never, never give up. You are a hope producer, a dream builder. Go out and embrace your talent, embrace your gift, your mission, and run for it. Go for it.
Well, it is always a pleasure having you on, Joseph, and a good reminder on this holiday season of things to be grateful for. And you're certainly one of those for this community. And
We're doing blessings under the bridge. So we'll be feeding little doggies. They're homeless. They take care of the homeless, and we're adopting 25 families, and we're going to be going under the bridge. We have a friend of ours, Bellini, who's donated his truck, which is a pizza truck. They pump
awesome.
out all the pizzas, and we're going to give them. You want to be part of that? Give us a jingle. You can come, and we want parents to bring their teenagers so they can see.
Sure.
As being thankful for Thanksgiving, I have to thank this man for my life. This is my lifesaver right here, and I wouldn't be the person I am, or I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for Mr. Josoph Sanchez. And just believe in yourself and go out and make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
I want to thank Oscar Wessel once again.
You.
We'll be back next month, and
Joseph,
we'll
as
bring
always.
another one. Bring good news from the streets.
I'll be looking forward to
All
it.
right.
It's always a welcome
Thank
change
you
on the
for
show.
this time.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, and wherever you're going, get there safe. Take care.